Hello, beautiful souls. Welcome to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Infinity, and this is Magnetize Yourself, where we talk about life, love, spirituality, and of course, the law of attraction. In today's video, we are going to be doing a reading and energy update for our beautiful collective here on YouTube. You guys know that I channel these collective readings and energy updates every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So thank you so much for tuning in to today's reading, and we're going to go ahead and get into the messages. But first, I really want to share some of what I've been picking up energetically in our collective. Now, of course, I always say at the end of the day, it's really your intuition that is the compass for your life experience. So I always recommend listening to your intuition above all else. But what I will say is I've been feeling this kind of lull in the energy, this kind of low energy system moving through. For some reason, I thought about how when a meteorologist is describing the weather, sometimes they'll say there's a low pressure system moving through. And this kind of ideas seem to translate in energy terms to a low energy system moving through. So I'm actually going to be looking up a little bit of information on this because I feel like there's something deeper when it comes to this like metaphor of this low pressure system. So when a low pressure system is moving through, the winds move inward and counterclockwise, generally signals unstable weather. High pressure systems are generally associated with clear skies and calm conditions. So it's the opposite of that. So interesting, this idea of moving inward and counterclockwise, I almost see this energy pushing us within ourselves to evaluate or to introspect in some way, but also to go back into something. When you think of something turning counterclockwise, it's going backwards, but I'm hearing going backwards in order to go forwards, like we're being taken back into something, reflecting on something that is actually allowing us to move forward in a more powerful way. But in the moment, it may look like we're experiencing some unstable weather. So we may be feeling as though things are a little bit ungrounding, things are a little bit unstable. I'm getting that you might be feeling a lot of fatigue, a lot of exhaustion. So I'm going to be shuffling the cards, and for some reason, I'm really guided to the Rose Oracle right here. So let's go ahead and shuffle here. What can I channel for our beautiful collective about this low energy system that we've been kind of describing? And also about the winds of change taking place through what might feel like unstable weather. Here we have the sacred waters, nourishment, replenishment, health, rest, self-care. Okay, so I'm getting that for some who are feeling what I've been describing as tiredness or exhaustion, you actually might be feeling this because your body is signaling to you. I saw some kind of bird in my mind's eye, by the way, but your body is signaling to you that it's time to slow down in order to realign, to rest. And I keep getting that there may have been external people or energies around you that were unfamiliar, that weren't usually there. Now, they might be familiar people. This could be friends, family members, etc. But it feels like it's atypical for these individuals to have been in your space or interacting with you so strongly as they have been recently. Now, of course, this would make sense for a lot of us who were celebrating the holidays. If you do celebrate the holidays, it's very possible that you've been around certain people, environments, communities where you've just been inundated with a lot of external energy. And so this feeling of fatigue is actually a call to slow down, to rest, to realign, to kind of recharge your energy. I'm hearing you've been doing a lot more behind the scenes energetically than you consciously realize or give yourself credit for. I got the name Jared for someone. Also, I just keep seeing that bird that I was describing to you. It's actually a gray bird. So I'm going to be looking up the symbolism here because I do feel that this holds some kind of special meaning. Okay, so it can be a spiritual symbol of protection, growth, and insight, associated with messages, the need for adaptability and flexibility, massive change, freedom, happiness. Yeah, I feel as though it's almost as though you've had to radically slow down in order to, I'm hearing, to prevent yourself from moving forward from a place of misalignment, not a misalignment caused by you necessarily, but I feel through external energies, people, or circumstances that may have been kind of creating this level of chaos in your aura or in your space. I'm seeing sage, so you might actually be feeling guided to sage your space in some cases. Now, I don't usually pull just 3 cards all at once from the traditional tarot, but I felt really guided to do this today. And the first card here is the 4 of Wands in the reverse position. So I feel as though with the 4 of Wands reversed, there is this sense of being right on the brink of something really powerful, right on the brink of some kind of breakthrough here. And I'm hearing waiting at the finish line. Someone listening may feel as though they're almost like waiting at the finish line for the reward, if that makes sense. Like you've completed something, whether it's something literal that you've accomplished or whether it's something more symbolic or spiritual that you've completed, some kind of phase, some kind of level of healing. I feel like you've shifted into something and now you're almost in this kind of waiting room, wondering, am I going to receive the reward from this or what I was expecting out of this? And I'm getting a very strong indication with the affirmation on this card, my time to shine will come, that you are going to be receiving whatever you were working for or reaching for or trying to create. But I feel that there is, I'm hearing an element of divine timing that is actually protecting you here. So it's that sense of receiving something too soon and then it not turning out the way you really wanted or not really being what you wanted, even though it looks like what you thought you wanted. And it has to do with the timing being off. So it's like you're being protected from that dynamic by divine timing being strongly at play here. I'm hearing because your guides know that you are trusting enough to wait, meaning you trust your path, you trust that you've put in the work here, that you've achieved the breakthrough, that they know you are confident enough in your path to wait for divine timing to align the results here. Now, I know we're speaking in kind of vague terms, but that seems to be because this could apply in many different ways for different individuals. So, of course, take that however it's connecting for you. This could be in any area of your life. But I also see that with the Five of Wands here, there's some sense of conflict or rivalry, but I feel like this isn't coming from you. I'm hearing prying eyes. So you may have a lot of people perceiving a rivalry with you or perceiving that they're in competition with you, but you may not even be aware of a lot of these people. I'm just getting that you may have a lot of eyes on you or projected energy on you that you can feel at times, especially in these moments where you may be tired or more low energy, or your vibration kind of dips down a little bit because you're in need of that rest, that realignment. In those moments, you may especially find that you are susceptible at times to picking up on these projected energies from people externally who might be, I'm hearing like prying into things or somehow projecting something onto you because they're sensing that they're in competition with you. And I'm hearing they feel like they're losing that competition. So it's like they're projecting that onto you. And again, you may be completely unaware of these individuals, but in those times where your vibration dips down a little bit, where there's that lull in your energy, you may be more susceptible to actually perceiving these lower vibrations that people project onto you. Because what I'm hearing is your greatest shield is carrying a high vibrational energy. When you are in a higher energy, you naturally bounce off any of these negative projections that people try to place onto you. You will just feel completely unaware of them. That is why really the best form of energetic protection is simply shifting your focus into yourself, focusing on what you are cultivating internally, the kind of energy you want to embody and attract. Because as you hold that frequency really strongly, it will naturally block out everything that is not in alignment with that. Now, I did feel my throat getting scratchy there for just a second, which when that happens sometimes randomly in the middle of a reading, I often interpret it to be something happening in the throat chakra. And we're getting the temple path card in the reverse position here, and the anxiety card seems to be connected with that. And I heard phantoms of the mind. So I'm getting the sense of fears or anxieties that are actually just phantoms of the mind, meaning they're not based in anything real, but it has a real effect upon you because it creates this feeling of fear. And that fear seems to disconnect you from this higher vibrational pathway in those moments. So I'm speaking to someone here who has felt at times these anxieties or these fears surfacing that have made you feel very off or very out of alignment with your highest self. And I do feel that this is deeply connected to that sacred waters card we pulled at the beginning about rest and nourishment, because I feel that the only reason these fears or anxieties, these phantoms of the mind are coming up is because you may have been in a state of feeling burnt out or kind of stretched thin. So really the solution here is to realign by going back within yourself, resting, nourishing yourself, building yourself back up emotionally and energetically. And you will find that these anxieties, fears, or so-called phantoms of the mind just seem to dissipate like into thin air, because that's all they ever were, was this kind of projection of air. They were not anything material. So if you felt anxious or worried about anything recently, I feel that this is a sign to not allow yourself to get too worked up over these things, to the best of your ability to recognize that these are just phantoms of the mind. They're not based in anything to truly be concerned about. And the course of action is simply to nourish yourself, to rest, to sleep more if you need to, and to allow yourself to naturally recalibrate. And again, you will find that these fears or anxieties just seem to dissipate like fog clearing. That's interesting that we're getting imagery of fog. So you may be feeling a bit foggy as well when it comes to, with cornucopia, certain things that you're trying to create or manifest in your life. You may be feeling as though there's no obvious clear path forward, or feeling as though you're feeling a bit overwhelmed. And if that is the case, with the Garden and the Gate card here, I'm hearing you are being protected for your manifestations, and your manifestations are being protected or reserved for you. Interesting. That may resonate with someone in some way. But I'm getting also this message about protecting your energy in these moments, especially where you might be feeling a little tired or a little bit depleted. It becomes even more essential to have those forms of energetic protection. But once again, that message is coming up. I saw a whale. That could be symbolism for someone, but that message is coming up about the best form of energetic protection being your focus, activating positive self-focus, focusing on yourself, naturally blocks out anyone or anything who would detract from that positive focus. It's interesting, though, that we have the heart chakra card here because I'm getting something about the purity of your heart protecting itself or being protected. Again, as we said, when you really activate your focus strongly on a particular frequency, you naturally block out or protect yourself from contradictory frequencies. But it's about shifting into positive focus rather than trying to push against something that is considered to be unwanted, because your focus always activates an energy, whether you're focusing on pushing something negative away or bringing something positive closer to you. So there's something here about rejection being a form of your heart protecting itself. So if you felt rejected recently by someone or something in your life, or maybe this is a theme of your life where you feel rejected by certain people or things when you walk around with your heart so open, know that this rejection occurs as a form of protecting your heart, because very few people are capable of meeting you where you are. You have your heart so open that so many people are drawn into it magnetically. Heart chakra energy is extremely magnetic. The heart chakra generates a very highly magnetic, electromagnetic sort of frequency that can be used for manifesting, but it also naturally draws to it people, things, and situations. However, I received a potential title for this video that I think I actually am going to end up using because this is coming up here. And it was that first of all, it was specifically for a group of divine feminines, which of course you could resonate with the label divine feminine or divine masculine, because we all do have a balance internally of both energies. So you can take that however it connects. But specifically, I felt a group of divine feminines coming through who often have this experience of being very magnetic to masculine energies, but then it's almost like these divine masculines are simultaneously attracted to their light, to their heart, but intimidated by it at the same time. And this creates a very complicating dynamic that I really wanted to talk about in this video, but I wasn't sure if it would come up naturally, and I really wanted to follow the flow of the energy. So it's interesting that it's coming up here, but I do want to first share the third traditional tarot card that I pulled. I said there were three. We talked about the Four of Wands reversed. We talked about the Five of Wands, and now we are going to be talking about the Page of Wands in the reverse position. So this card is about someone feeling a lot of pent-up energy and not knowing what to do with it or how to go about expressing it. And it's funny that I felt guided right in the middle of that conversation about these masculines being drawn to you, but also intimidated by you. That's when I felt drawn to pull this third card, because right away I sensed that this is representative of one of those masculines in your energy field or in your life. This is a person who is feeling a lot for you, but really not sure how to express it. And it's creating this kind of internal frustration and pressure that I'm getting. You may actually be empathically feeling from this person as well. I'm going to be channeling a lot more into this. I'm hearing they're frustrated because of how much they love you or how much they are intrigued by you or interested in you. Now, this could be romantic, this could be platonic. Take it however it's connecting. I also feel that in this portion of the reading, it's very likely that we are going to be picking up on a lot of different threads of energy. So, of course, always use your intuition and only take the messages here that truly feel right and aligned for you personally. Okay, so let's go ahead and see if we can pull some information about this. So we're going to use this as a starting point, and we'll see who or what else wants to connect with you. Okay, we have man holding a coin reversed. I'm hearing that there is a masculine here feeling overwhelmed and underprepared. They're saying that they feel they do not have the resources to bring value into your life or to sustain a connection with you, and that scares them. In fact, it actually seems to be creating a blockage around their throat chakra. So this would be someone who is pulled back on their communication, who may not be communicating much with you. However, with the Magician card here, the thing is that this person's soul, yes, that is their logic here. Their logical feeling is they need to put a stop to this because they don't really have the resources, whether that's physically, mentally, emotionally, to be good enough to sustain a connection with you. And that seems to be creating this blockage or delay in their communication physically. But at the same time, their soul is pulling them forward. With the Magician card, they feel such a strong energy between the two of you. And in spite of all physical appearances, they feel like there is something being mirrored between the two of you. They feel like something in you is like them. There is something shared here in a mysterious way that they can't quite fully understand. And I'm hearing their soul is manifesting you even though their human self is afraid, their conscious self is afraid. So what you're getting from this person is a very complex dynamic where you are feeling them on a soul level manifesting you, meaning sending you a lot of energy, connecting with you a lot in the astral realm. You may be seeing this person in your dreams, in your meditations. They might just be flashing into your mind during the day because their higher self is really connecting with you through the third eye chakra. But in the physical world, you can sense the internal conflict, the kind of back and forth within this person. I feel like this is a masculine constantly internally arguing with themselves about you, like, no, we can't move towards divine feminine, but then saying that they want to and they can't help themselves. It's like you're probably feeling this perpetual back and forth energy with this particular person. I got the letter initials L and M. Those could be in someone's name. But I am going to be channeling more into this person's dynamic in the Patreon reading. I'm picking up that specifically what's going to happen here is I'm going to be picking up a lot of different threads of energy in this main YouTube reading. And then for each of those threads, we're going to extend it deeper on Patreon. So if any of these people that come through here connect with you, then you can check out the extended version of the reading on Patreon for more details, and the link to that will be the top comment underneath this video. So with the yin yang card reverse, before we move on from this energy for now, of course, we'll be going into it more on Patreon, but I want to say that this feels like a twin flame with yin yang reversed. This could be a twin flame. If not a twin flame, it carries very similar energy to a twin flame. It could be a very high level soulmate, but there's something very ancient here on a spiritual level, many past shared lives. There's also just a higher energy that feels like it's pulling the two of you together in spite of appearances or things going on in the physical that may be confusing or complicating feelings here. So again, if that connects for you, the link to the Patreon reading with more details there is at the top of the comments section. So let's go ahead and channel a bit more here. So who else is connected to our collective energetically? What other threads of energy? Okay, we have the Temple Path card reversed, anxiety upright, and appreciation in the sun. Okay, so this is someone who feels as though they themselves have been pretty disconnected from their most authentic self, is what I'm hearing. I got the name Cassie for someone, and I felt this like ringing in my left ear. Let's go ahead and actually look up what that can mean spiritually. But with this person, they're feeling a lot of anxiety, a lot of heaviness naturally because they have been afraid to show up as their most authentic self. I'm hearing to be honest with people around them. This may be someone who really struggles to be fully open and honest with the people around them. It's interesting. A ringing in the left ear can sometimes be a message from spirit, but also a warning or alert. So it's almost like this person is getting some kind of warning from the spiritual realm. They're getting some kind of wake-up call here. And this is what's causing them a lot of anxiety because they're developing this awareness that they've been afraid to really be honest with people around them or maybe even themselves. And it's gotten them very off track in their life, very much feeling as though I'm hearing they don't recognize themselves when they look in the mirror. But when they look at you, and I feel like this person perceives you or thinks of you kind of at a distance, they're very hesitant when it comes to communicating with you or approaching you. So even if there is contact, they're very, very careful and very hesitant about that contact. But I will say that they have this deep reverence for you. It goes deeper than just appreciation. It's truly a reverence. I got the number 3. This could be also the number sequence 333, which can indicate something very spiritual going on here. They sense that you are almost like this very wise spiritual master of sorts, or that's how they perceive you. I'm hearing someone who's earned their stripes, which isn't a phrase that I typically use, so that may be relevant to someone, but you feel like someone who in their mind has really earned everything that you have in your life and who has really been in the ringer to get there. So this may be someone who's been somewhat connected to you for a while, who's had this awareness of some of the difficult times that you've gone through. And they've always been silently cheering you on. And now they see you in the sun with the sun card here. They see you as someone who's been so committed to your healing, to your growth, to finding your own happiness in life. And I'm hearing that when they look at you, they see a representation of almost what they feel to be the polar opposite of themselves, because again, they perceive themselves as someone who's been very afraid to open up and to be authentic with themselves or with people around them. This is also someone who I'm hearing secretly creating. So if this person is a creative type, I feel like they're secretly creating things about you or creating something behind the scenes that you've inspired in some way. The word muse is coming up. You might be a muse for this person. I'm feeling like they would never openly say this or admit this because, again, there's that hesitancy there. But with the sacral chakra card and woman holding a heart, I'm hearing secretly harboring feelings. So this is someone who is holding back a lot in the physical, but I feel as though they've been secretly harboring feelings for you for a long time through watching your transformation or being aware of it. I'm getting that they're loosely connected to you in some way, but most likely not someone that you interact with or see regularly, but they're very much aware of you and they've been so aware of your growth and your progress. Now, if this isn't connecting with a literal physical person, I might actually be speaking about someone's higher self. So this may be someone you haven't met yet, but spiritually, they've been really aware of your progress, your growth, and there's been that spiritual connection taking place behind the scenes through all of that. But that will just be for a rare few of you. For most of you, again, this is someone from your past or someone who's been loosely connected to you, but very hesitant about approaching you. This is someone who truly feels as though you hold their heart, that no one holds a candle to you. And with the Victory card, they're actually very determined to have some kind of breakthrough with you. Although, just like with so many things about this person, that also seems to be very secretive. This person holds a lot of secrets, not in a malicious way, but in terms of holding back a lot. There is, like, I see this dam with a huge reservoir behind it representing this person's emotions, but I'm getting that there are cracks in the dam that things are starting to pour through. They can't hold back anymore. And they're praying for this breakthrough with you, or I'm hearing some kind of opening to connect with you more fully. So we will be channeling more into this person's energy in the extended reading on Patreon, which again is linked at the top of the comment section under the video. But I want to see who or what else is connected to you at this time. Who or what else is connected to our collective? Okay, we have the card, I'm not ready to open up yet. So this is definitely a different energy coming through here. Walking away from you made me realize how much I love you. And right away, my guide said, this is someone you've not been hearing from physically, but that you felt spiritually. And maybe you've even felt delusional or crazy for getting these feelings, but you've just had this sense that this is a person who's going to be coming back into your life. I'm hearing keeping tabs. So this may be someone who has some kind of way of keeping tabs on you. That won't be the case for everyone. We also have the energy between us felt amazing. So I'm hearing time of year. Maybe something about this time of year is making this person heavily reminisce on good times that the two of you shared together. And again, you might be picking up on this on your end because you might be suddenly having flashes or glimpses of this person or flashbacks to things that may have occurred with them. I'm hearing this person allowed their logic to overpower their heart. So this is someone who felt that it was the logical choice to disconnect from you or walk away from you, whether this is a platonic or a romantic situation. But ultimately, they've been left very reminiscent of the positive times that the two of you have shared. And there is this very strong sense of longing, and yet we have the card, I'm not ready to open up. So it's like they're just kind of basking in these memories of you, in this remembrance of how amazing it felt to connect with you. I see someone smiling as they're remembering things or looking back on things. However, with patience, it could still be quite a while before this person fully comes forward. And part of that is because of how spiritually connected you are. With the garden and the gate upright, this seems to be someone who took a very different timeline or a different path with adjacent possibilities. And you were listening to your intuition. I'm getting somehow the reason the two of you ultimately disconnected is because they chose their logic over their heart, and you chose your intuition over a physical connection with them. Interesting message coming through there for someone, but it's like you chose to follow your intuition, and I feel either that person didn't understand it, they didn't like it, they may have tried to gaslight you out of it, or somehow you following your intuition, doing what felt most aligned for you, led to an argument or to a disconnect between you and this person. I'm also getting it may have ended very abruptly, and they took this other timeline, but now they're realizing that that timeline was valueless. With door to value reversed, it really just felt like a detour to them. And I'm hearing the only thing that really held meaning was you. So if this was romantic and this person tried to go off in another relationship or to date other people, it's almost like those connections have now ended. And it's odd because it's almost like they never happened. Like it was such a detoured timeline that it feels insignificant to them compared to what they had with you. Now, of course, it may not be romantic for you, so only take it if it connects in that specific kind of way. But I do see that this is someone vying to be part of this next phase of your life, this new beginning that they are very much aware of is happening in your life. But again, you're being very spiritually protected at this time. So I keep hearing dealing with lower vibrational energies. This may be someone dealing with a lot of lower vibration, either within themselves, their circumstances, people around them. There's a lot of heaviness on them. I saw an apple for some reason. But because of this heaviness on them, I'm getting that they would have to make a lot of positive changes within themselves. I do see them having made some of those already, but there would have to be more before they would be capable of accessing you energetically just because of how spiritually protected you are. But I did look up apple symbolism. So apparently the apple can be a symbol for knowledge, but it also can be about temptation. Like in the biblical story of the Garden of Eden, where Eve ate from the apple that was from the tree of knowledge of good and evil. And so it's interesting. This can also represent, though, an awakening. So I feel like this is someone who, it's like they bit the apple metaphorically, and now they're having the awakening. It's like they gave in to some kind of temptation that detoured them, but ultimately has awakened them now. So again, we'll be looking deeper into this in the extended Patreon reading, which is in the top comment underneath this video. But for now, I am going to be closing the reading with one final Rumi Oracle card. Of course, if anything here connected for you, I would love to hear from you in the comments under the video. You can also subscribe to the channel if you do want to get notified in real time when I channel these messages and pieces of information. And of course, you can also follow me on Instagram and now TikTok at Magnetize Yourself. So I'm going to close with the card Layla. And let's go ahead and read from the guidebook here. How I long for my thoughts to no longer make any sense to me. Then I can be rid of them like noisy house guests who have overstayed their welcome. I want to feel her heart beating in the quiet movements of the roots of the plants as they stretch and grab and stop my ears with her fertile dirt, finally gaining peace from the constant infernal racket of thoughts no longer wanted. The guidebook also says, the great beloved truly wants you to be closer than ever to the wild, universal heart. In that field of love, every electronic device goes haywire, systems collapse, worlds collide, and great stars are born from the chaos. But the real you will sense none of this. You are moving through a period of not knowing, of time in the great void or womb of the Divine Mother. It is in this place the seed can crack open and take root. This cannot happen in the light where all is seen and recognized. It must happen under the cover of darkness, where only trust can assure one of success. So that feels like a perfect place to close the reading. Thank you so much again for tuning in today, for sharing your beautiful energy here. I'm sending you huge amounts of love and light. Have an amazing remainder of your day, and I will connect with you here again in the next video.